That's been lipstick. Right there.
Good evening. Thank you for tuning in to episode 39 of the Frontline Black News. I'm your host, Chan Kruma. With all my other host, Lady Shay. Episode 39 of the Frontline Black News. I'm your host, Chan Kruma. With all my other host, Lady Shay. Episode 39 of the Frontline Black News. I'm your host, Hold on, we're having technical difficulties.
Come on, family, we're having difficulties. You know, you can't see me.
We're getting a lot of feedback. Got a lot of background noise and feedback.
Yeah, I know, Shabaka. I'm trying to get it together.
We're getting a lot of feedback.
Hold on, Shabaka.
Got a lot of background noise and feedback.
Shabaka, we hear you. Yeah, I know, Shabaka. I'm trying to get it together.
We're getting a lot of feedback.
Hold on, Shabaka.
A lot of background noise and feedback.
Hold on, I got it.
A lot of feedback. Background noise and feedback.
Hold on, I got it. There you go, better?
Okay, that's better. All right, thank y'all for tuning in to episode 39 of the Frontline Black News. I'm host Chan Kruma. I'm joined by my other host, Lady Che, and we're joined by our guest, our regular guest to the program, Shabaka Sankori of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, of which I am the co-host of. And we will be discussing several things tonight. The first thing is Tangibles 2021. Judge in the Rittenhouse Case Slammed with accusations of bias. The Omicron COVID-19 Variant. Keep coming up with different variants, Black family.
Oh, yeah, I told you that.
Bill Cosby, prosecutors asked Supreme Court to renew decision to overturn conviction. So they just want to leave Bill Cosby alone. The Jussie Smollet Trial. This charges adults in the Aurora shooting. Clarence Avent's wife, Jacqueline Avent, killed in Beverly Hills, California. Jelani Day Mysterious death in Illinois. Daniel Robinson mysterious death in Arizona. And Unhoused neighbor news and Unhoused neighbor sweets. So the first thing is Tangibles 2020. Or excuse me, Tangibles 2021.
Right.
So in 2020, a brother by the name of Tariq Nasheed came up with the hashtag Tangibles 2020, and it was describing the malign neglect policy that's been in effect for the past 50, 60 years.
Right.
Foundational Black American descendants of slavery into broad ambiguous terms such as people of color, minorities, marginalized, disenfranchised, downtrodden, underprivileged, underserved, underrepresented. And we're tired of it. We're no longer going to be lumped into these broad ambiguous terms that benefit everybody but us.
Right.
we're demanding something specifically for our vote. So any politician that is seeking your vote demands something tangible for your vote. And you say, what's tangible? Tangible is something you can count, measure, feel, physically feel, substantive,
Right.
something that actually has value to it, not symbolism. And we are the foundation of Black Americans. We built this country. There'll be no United States of America without our blood, sweat, and toil. So we're demanding $100 trillion for past, present, and future atrocities that have continued to be brought against our people. And we're not letting up, Black family. We're going to continue to bang this drum for tangibles into the new year and all 2100. They can no longer take people for granted. And here on Frontline Black News, all we're saying is if you're going to vote, demand something for your vote. Stop just giving your vote away. Stop just voting just because, or because the white-owned media tells you to go out and vote or tells you who to go out and vote for. We're not telling you here on Frontline Black News who to vote for. All we're saying is if you're going to vote, if you're going to continue to participate in this political process and this political system known as American politics, demand something tangible for your vote. That goes for the local level, that goes for the state level, that goes for the federal level. And this is going to be a marathon, not a sprint, Black family. We got to continue to remain consistent with our demands for tangibles. All these other groups get something specifically for them. We're the only people in this country that don't get anything specifically done for us, but yet we get told every presidential election or every big time election that we were the reason why the Democratic Party won their elected office. And these Democrats continue to take our vote for granted. And we're saying here on Frontline Black News is enough is enough of that. If any of these politicians want your vote, you need to demand something tangible for your vote. Otherwise, don't bother voting for them. If they're not going to do anything specifically for you, specifically for your people, for our people, sit it out, Black family. And we just watch both the two-party system collapse right before our very eyes. But it's dependent on Black family. And all we got to do is stand up and say enough is enough, and it's done. Black people are supposed to be the backbone of the Democratic Party. We're still waiting on you Jim Crow Biden supporters to call into Shabaka and tell us what tangible benefits we're getting from the Biden administration.
Exactly.
Biden has been in office for over a year now, and we have yet to get anything tangible from him being in office. Him or Kamala Lock 'em Up Harris being in political office has not benefited us one iota. So we're still waiting on you Biden supporters to call in, tune in, and let us know what tangibles we're getting from a Biden administration. So that's the gist of Tangibles 2021. And as we move into 2022, the hashtag will change to Tangibles 2022. And the message remains the same. Any politician that's seeking your vote, Black family, demand something specifically for your vote. Demand a Black agenda. Demand something that's going to specifically benefit you. Not all these other groups, not the LGBTQ, not the illegal immigrants, not Asians, and all these other so-called people of color. Demand something that's going to specifically benefit foundational Black Americans, American descendants of slavery, the foundation of this country, and the people that built this country. So that's Tangibles 2021. Did you have anything to add on Tangibles 2021?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And another thing, too, in regard to the tangibles, we also need farmland and agricultural land to produce our own vegetables and fruit. And then to make sure that have some of our scholars do research on it, so we won't be getting hit with these GMOs, is because I've been up in Washington State and I've spoken with people who worked in the apple orchards, and they did say that the way you could tell the GMO is we already know it doesn't have any seeds in it, like watermelons is supposed to, apples, pears, peaches. You see, fruits like that. You see, and they related to me is that if it doesn't have the seeds on the inside of it, more than likely it is a genetically modified organism, or commonly referred to as a GMO. You see, so we definitely, got to get our scholars together on that, number one, of what we intake into our bodies, because they're coming at us with these vaccines and all these other concoctions that they don't have no damn research that they've done, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On it, and then of course, they saying there's an increase of the COVID infections in South Africa. You're saying, dude, let me state that we Africans stand with the Democratic Republic of Congo. Africa is not a laboratory, and we Africans are not your lab rats. Not only in Africa, but also throughout the whole diaspora. Yes, and then what we have to do when it comes to our youth, this is why we got to get them out of the public indoctrination centers, is because what we got to do is start training our youth, our young ones who have interest in natural sciences or biological sciences and what have you. So hopefully these young minds, could be trained within 10 years, to start implementing some type of defense against these rapid increases in these COVID infections. You see what I mean? And then another subject I want to cover is the Chris Cuomo being fired by the Cartoon News Network because he had helped his older brother, who was being investigated while he was the governor of New York. He resigned from the position, and the attorney general there of New York, who states that she's going to be running for governor, is doing some investigations on that, and CNN terminated Chris Cuomo, and Chris, of course, said that he was, didn't mean to do what he did, helping his brother. But of course, we all know blood is thicker than water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So once again, for you Biden supporters, the number is 516-418-5996, where you can call in Tuesday night on our podcast on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on our regular edition every Tuesday. And that there is going to be December the 7th, Tuesday at 6 p.m. in the Pacific time zone, 9 p.m. in the East, 7 p.m. in the Mountain time zone, and 8 p.m. in the Central time zone. Now, also too, yes.
You still have a show tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we're doing a special edition tomorrow night that there's on the Family Unit.
Did you put
So-
could you put your blog talk, all that information for your show, for tomorrow's show, in the chat so I could repost it right here? That way
Okay.
please and thank you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I think I could do that. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. That way
All right.
see it.
Okay. Okay. Chat. Okay. Let's see here.
Hey, he's like you.
Mm-hmm.
this looks like you're like you, like what you do.
Call in
Fellas like
tomorrow night.
Dang. That's what organization looks like, huh? I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
right
6
down
p.m.
like that. Am I the only one that does it?
Okay,
What is that?
but as on the continent of Africa, you got a lot of these neo-colonialists, you see, that you had for the last few centuries. You see that also too that contribute to this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, neocolonialism.
Yeah,
See, yeah, you see what I mean? That is where they got black politicians and heads of states, but they serving a Eurocentric agenda, mainly for the French, the Dutch, and what have you. See, and the Chinese is taking over where like the Dutch and them had left off. You see, having Africa and all that dead, and they gotta give all the fucking land to the damn Chinese. You see, and the Chinese is down there with that bullshit, and you got these puppet regimes in these African countries, acquiring all this debt with them. See.
Yeah. I mean, no love lost on the Chris Como thing, man. I'm like, whatever.
Did you have anything to add?
Well,
I thought we were on intangibles or Chris Como. Which one?
That's not Chris Como. Was Shabaka's topic.
Okay.
We're still on tangibles 2021.
Only thing I gotta say about tangibles, check or resign, or the Black agenda. You're not hip to it. Get on code with the with the new Black media. Aside from that, change is coming, and hold your vote like you hold your swilla, like you hold your genitals, like you hold your baby. Keep in mind, Black family, the Black vote is the most important vote. Don't let them talk you out of that. It is, and they want it very badly, so they'll do whatever to entice you. Don't fall for it. Don't go for the fucking whatever the fuck they offer. It's not worth it. Just hold your vote for something that's actually gonna benefit you and your family. It's tangible, that you could, feel, hold, have it within a reasonable, time frame. A lot of the politicians like to get in here and say, we're gonna do this and this and this, but they don't give you a time frame. And have a reasonable time frame, like within the first fucking couple 100 days or whatever. Hold your vote. If they can't offer you that, they can't give you that, and you can't hold them accountable, then don't vote. It's not worth it. Your vote is very precious. They say every vote counts, but really it means every Black vote, or every, whatever they popularize, but really it is the Black vote. So hold it. Keep it to yourself until you're ready and they offer you something that's actually going to fucking benefit you and your family right now, not fucking 100 generations from now where you won't get to see it. That's all I say. And reparations or resign. Because you're really with. Cut the check, period.
Yeah, cut the check. So the next topic is the judge in the Kyle Rittenhouse case is slammed with accusations of bias. So, Black family, we've been saying for the longest that this Kyle Rittenhouse character, the judge in the case, is clearly biased.
Who's that?
And his name...
Okay. Is that the call-in show? Real quick, I'm sorry. Is that the call-in show number?
That's for Shabaka's show.
Okay. I'm sorry. But should I put... That shouldn't be out there. Right?
No, I just put that.
You didn't mean to put that, right?
Yes, I did.
So I could show it?
Yeah.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go, Shabaka. Sorry about that.
I'm back. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, the phone number to call in is 516-418-5996.
Got it.
Right, we got it.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay. And these notes and shit I'm going over. Yeah.
We're on the second topic now. And that's the judge in the Kyle Rittenhouse case is now being slammed with accusations of bias. And what I was saying was, we've known this all along. It's a damn shit it takes after the suspected white supremacist gets off for murder. For this to come to light, but we've been saying this all along that the judge in the case was clearly biased.
Well, he should be disbarred. He should have have to go through some type of disciplinary action, you know, dealing with those jurists, you see what I mean, is because we don't know if he was biased, incompetent, a combination of them both, you see, and really the whole crux of that Kyle Rittenhouse case, you know, that shit was redundant and it was ridiculous. You see what I mean?
Yeah, so I was gonna read this article from Forbes about the judge in the trial. So testimony in Kyle Rittenhouse double murder. This is from Forbes. The title of the article is Judge in Rittenhouse Case Slammed with Accusations of Bias. Here's why. Top line. Testimony in Kyle Rittenhouse double murder trial kicked off Thursday with a jury given. Oh, this is an old article. It's from last month. Oh, shit. I'll continue reading. So this is when this was written was when the trial was still going on. So kicked off Thursday with the jury giving a round of applause to a witness called by the defense after Judge Bruce Strokes. I don't know how to say his last name. Stroder. SCHROEDER advised the court to recognize the witness military service for Veterans Day, the latest action by the judge that critics say show he is biased in favor of the defense. Stroder, 75, has admonished prosecutors throughout the trial, telling Assistant the District Attorney Thomas Bringer on Wednesday, "Don't get brazen with me," after Bringer mentioned Rittenhouse's right to remain silent in front of the jury. Another example of this is Stroder's cell phone briefly rang on Wednesday with the ringtone of Lee Greenwood's "God Bless America" or "God Bless the USA," which is played at the former President Donald Trump's rallies. The judge has not allowed prosecutors to describe the two men Rittenhouse killed as victims, calling it a loaded term, but said he would allow the defense to refer to them as looters and arsonists if they prove that they were.
Yeah. Wow.
On Wednesday, Stroder questioned whether prosecutors might be distorting evidence by showing a video on an iPad while pinching to zoom in after the defense baselessly claimed the pinch to zoom feature could prompt artificial intelligence programming to distort the original video. Stroder calls for a break in the trial Wednesday after Rittenhouse broke down on the witness stand. That's when he was giving those fake tears.
Right.
White tears matter.
Yeah.
Which many left-leaning activists and public figures dismissed as fake emotion.
Yes.
So not respond to a request from Forbes. So those are just a few of the examples of this judge being biased, and we've been saying it all along, even before the verdict came out, that the judge was biased. So I just thought we'd bring to our attention thoughts.
Right. They say now the cold part about that is that you see all down through the history of the United States, man, we really never totally got any type of justice. Now, keep in mind that the victims that Rittenhouse shot were non-black, right? But I'm of the opinion, as I've stated on Shabaka's Black Experience before, I've stated it on Frontline Black News and the Revolutionary Agenda, is that Rittenhouse had wanted I feel, this is just my opinion, that he had wanted to go kill black people because he figured he had come across individuals such as like Black Lives Matter protesters, or like when they had the rebellion in Los Angeles in 1992, where you had a lot of those who were rioting, which is a voice of the unheard, were black, you see. But I just think that these guys just saw Rittenhouse, and they might have sympathized with Black Lives Matter or what have you, and then they went on him, and then of course what happened in the Rittenhouse case.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion, because I'm, like I said, and I'm always going to keep saying that I honestly believe that Rittenhouse's intended targets were black people.
Yep.
Yep.
And what supports that is where the judge says is that you cannot refer to those who are shot as victims. They got to be referred to as rioters and looters. So already right there, you see his ass should have been recused off the case just on that.
Yep.
On that, yep.
You see? He should have been kicked off the fucking case just on that. But the news, the court system, all this shit is whack. It's corrupt. They all are full of shit. You know what I mean? You don't know what the fuck to believe these days. You see what I mean? So this is why you got to do your own research, and use your common sense. Vaccines, well, the world knows how we feel about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Say.
Yeah, I concur. I mean, when first of all, he had to really muscle it here. He really had to. He really worked for it. Other than that, it's a lot of bullshit. And he's gonna be like the poster boy, and then then you got like all this other little shit going on. You got white trash killing, motherfuckers in school, and you got the shit going on here. It's just a whole bunch of stuff. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. Now that's another thing too. Another main reason why we got to get our children up out of these public indoctrination centers. Okay, is that you got these crazy motherfuckers just like the little bastard the other day, who went and killed a few people there, and he was talking to his counselor about an hour before he did it, and then he used his daddy's gun, and the state of where this went down is they arrested the parents and charged them with involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah. That shit's crazy too.
Yeah, see, he was an irresponsible gun owner. You see, he was supposed to keep that away from the kids. You see, he was supposed to keep it under lock and key, from what I understand, if I got it right. See, so they got some type of culpability too, and the state charged them with it.
Yeah.
And the cold part about it is, when you look at these mad scientist motherfuckers and murderous ass cops like Fauci and Derek Chauvins and all that, see, these are the weirdos, like this little asshole who went out there and killed the people a few days ago. You see?
Yeah. In Oxford, Michigan. Yeah.
Exactly. You see, that's what I'm talking about.
That shit's a whole different case, but it's like that case has a little. That case is all bad. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It's downright fucked up.
This failed epically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely. You see? And this is the more reason that should be telling us for what we got to do for our agenda. You see, the revolutionary agenda is to get our children away from these crazy ass little motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Straight out.
Yeah, because they're really training them to kill people. And like, I mean, I don't know who gives a gun buys a gun for Christmas. It's not even Christmas yet. Like, what the little degenerate do that is so good, you know what I mean? To get a fucking rifle.
Yeah,
He's just so
it was a handgun that he used. But what it
right.
was it was his parents' weapon that they had just acquired. They had just got it. But even still though, he wasn't supposed to have access to it the way that he did.
Yeah,
You
because
see.
according to other sources, is like the parents bought it for him and they like let him out, let him hold it and shit, or what I mean. According to different sources,
Hmm.
it's a lie. But the fact that they trade up and they kind of went on the run a little bit, and they were like
Right.
there's a lot of guilt going on with these parents. But they
Yeah.
got, I like the way the media portrays them. They look like major motherfucking tweakers and they look like they got the real issues, like straight traps, like and the fact that there's even like with the Black Authority, he pulled up a letter that like a blog letter that the old lady that the mother wrote President Trump. I mean, if it sounded pretty motherfucking racist by the read. You know what I mean? Like she was on
Damn.
that old, everybody gets more than us type shit, and I believe in bring the work back, and basically everything you believe in President Trump, I'm with it, type shit. And
Mm.
I was like, ooh, this is not looking good for whoever planned this little white supremacy shit to go on. They're failing. That's a fail right there. That's successful. Unlike with the win they had with the Kyle Rittenhouse case, the judge should be held. The judge should be held accountable, but so should the other judge. Let's not just stop at the first one. Let's stop at all of them. You know what I mean? The both of them, because the second one let him slide on everything that was fucking wrong.
Yeah.
So why
Well, see.
are we holding the first one accountable? We're not looking at the second one, and he didn't
Well,
have a
see.
jury of his peers.
Okay, you say if the courts worked properly, right? What state this case happened in? Wisconsin, right?
We're talking about the first one.
Okay, with this shit being redundant as it went, the damn upper courts at the state level of Wisconsin, even the damn state Supreme Court should have intervened in that case. Due to all the improprieties that's going on.
I was talking about the one of the lawyers or whatever that was supposed to be held accountable in the Rittenhouse case as well. But I meant to say that. Yeah, I meant to say the Ahmaud Arbery case. I apologize, family. My fault. Carry on, Shabaka. But in regards, the judge in this case definitely should be punished severely.
Mm-hmm.
His infractions to the system. I mean, he basically gave the world what they wanted to see. You know what I mean? But yeah, he should be held accountable. You're right, Shabaka. My fault.
Yeah.
I got him confused.
Yeah. So which means is in the Rittenhouse case, in my opinion, I may be wrong, but the damn state Supreme Court or any of the upper courts, you see what I'm saying, should have picked that case up, or they should have recused the fucking judge.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
You see?
Okay, so I'm gonna keep us moving. The next topic,
yes, sir.
The Omicron COVID-19 variant.
Okay, yeah, as I stated, off in the opening, is that not only do you have this Omicron variant, as we stated, 6 months to a year ago, Brother Che, is that what's going to be the next variant after this variant, So what number variant? So wait a minute. So what number variant that we at now? Number 4 now?
4. Yeah, I think we're at 4.
Yeah,
okay, we're at 4 now. Now they want everybody to go get slammed with this more and more this vaccine shit that has not been properly researched. You got all these damn biotechnic firms. So this was a long-term plan that they had. Whatever what this shit is, this biochemical weapon, this genocide, this nanotechnology, artificial intelligence. You see, all this shit is working hand in hand.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
look at this shit.
I go on the airline names, but as my brother stated, they were going out the
Greek
military,
alphabet.
the alphabet, right? The military alphabet.
Greek alphabet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Greek alphabet. I apologize, family. Greek alphabet. And
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping it was gonna name it after after airline, but either way, South it's making South Africa look kind of
Well,
dangerous. But where did they get it from? Let's just talk about that, because
okay,
Africans know that's a sign of
okay, well, let's connect some dots here.
let's
Okay, all right, all the silicon,
Jesus.
the cobalt, the magnesium, the tungsten, the diamonds, the platinum, right?
Yep.
All that shit comes out of Africa, and it's mainly the Chinese that's capitalizing off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got these neo-colonialist puppet regime motherfuckers over there who are letting the Chinese come in there, giving them these bullshit ass loans. Then they default on the motherfucking loan. You see, then the Chinese go in there and start acquiring some of the land,
Mm-hmm.
the resources.
Right.
Because when you own the land, you own all the resources under the land and all the air above it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we need to be focusing on a Pan-African basis throughout the diaspora and on the continent, Africans in Europe, Africans in the Americas, you say we got to focus on a sense of oneness and doing for ourselves. And tangibles 2021, cut the fucking check. $100 fucking trillion in tangibles for us to become self-sufficient and for us to acquire, major factors of production, land, labor, capital, basically land. You see, then we could put our own people to work.
Right.
And the reason why we're putting our own people to work is because all these other groups, as Brother Che has so eloquently put it, has capitalized off of our suffrage, off of our misery.
Yeah, so I want to read this piece that the Washington Post did about the Omicron.
Mm-hmm.
So the Omicron variant is likely to have picked up genetic material from another virus that causes the common cold in humans, according to a new preliminary study, prompting one of its authors to suggest Omicron could have greater transmissibility but
Mm-hmm.
lower virulence than other variants of the COVID.
I like how fast it spread. That shit spread so quick. One day, like the first day it was in, they found the first case over there in South Africa. Next day it was like Canada. Next day it was in Colorado.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like that
Mm-hmm.
quick. And I was like, and this one person had been from coming from South Africa into the airport, and it's so quick. And then they were like, 1 minute on one hand, the media says that it's super dangerous, and the other hand says, "Oh, no big whip."
Well, you see, like I said before, over the years, Asher Bacher's Black Experience Enhanced, um, and on our platform here as well too, is that for some odd reason they always want to do the experimentation and guinea pig shit in the continent of Africa. You
Right.
see, I mean, they raped over the land, they fucked over the people, look at us in the diaspora, and we already know about that. And the Europeans have it amongst themselves that I saw on social media who were stating that they got to keep Africa in a sense of dependency on Western European and Asian influences.
Mm-hmm.
It's because, see, without the natural raw materials of Africa, the goddamn world's economy would collapse.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You
So,
see,
and,
they know
and
that,
family,
but
we
you
shouldn't
see,
let
but
people
keeping
experiment on Africa. Anymore.
say what now?
I mean, family, we really don't need to be having these type of experiments on Africa. You know what I mean? It's been through enough. We've been through enough. This is an experiment as usual. You know,
Well, like I said, I'm saying it here on social media that this goddamn scandemic, pandemic, whatever, variant, disease or whatever, it's a bunch of bullshit, okay? And what it is that they're trying to control people through nanotechnology with this shit.
word. Them nanobots, man, are crazy going through your system. Saw a YouTube video. It's whoa,
Oh, yeah.
whoa.
And then who knows what other what they really putting in you when they say shit like, well, you got to go for this checkup, you need this shot, and all this old type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Did they say how they got the genetic makeup for this Omicron? What it's called? Did they say how it came about? How did you
No,
know?
I haven't came across any information on it, but I wouldn't be surprised that it too was invented in a laboratory.
Yeah, probably by
Say,
big pharma, big money funding it.
yeah, oh yeah, all that.
All that.
You know, like what Bill Gates is doing and all his old type of shit. And I don't understand why they didn't go arrest that motherfucker there
Oh
for
yeah,
mass murder.
mass murder.
Well,
Yeah,
we already know why.
we know why. And I would really like to see, you know, if they even if they could prove just a smidge, that'd be tight. You know what I mean? Because somebody's guilty
Hmm.
of it. Somebody did it. Somebody's doing it. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
well, indeed, you know, this is a preconceived plan, and it's a long-term plan. So, which means is that they went through long-term development of this plan.
Yeah. Well, it's all
So,
part of Agenda 21, the depopulation of the planet.
hmm and this shit from research that I've done, this disease is supposed to last to at least 2035. So between now and 2035, which is a little bit more than 13, 14 years, each year, this variant is going to get worse and worse.
Yeah.
Yep. Very much, man. So
Yeah, see?
we're gonna be in this pandemic for a long time.
No, you're probably going to be with this pandemic for the rest of time on Earth.
Yeah.
For mankind, that is.
Yep.
I'm willing to bet my money on it. See? They want all these motherfucking assholes out here, you know, to sit back, obey orders.
Mm-hmm.
To be these damn nanobots, you know, robotics, iRobot, that type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
That shit.
You know. And Elon Musk talking about he's got some shit that they could put a chip in your brain and then you could figure out what type of music you want to listen to.
Yeah.
Do y'all get another stimulus in California?
No, I ain't never got a stimulus check in California.
Oh man, you need to file soon. You only got 1 week left.
Mm.
I'll explain that to you after the call, after the show.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, what's happening here is with the food processing, then you got this nanotechnology, right? Okay, and then you got all these goddamn cell phones and laptops and all that old shit. And what it is that they constantly want to monitor your fucking movements.
Yep.
They constantly want to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling. And they want to put this shit in you with these vaccines, you know, and it's a kill switch.
Yeah.
Period.
I mean, they're making the war on the unvaxxed a very legitimate thing. And every time you see somebody like when they say, "Oh, we're running out of hospital beds," and the majority of them are unvaccinated. Like, come on, man! You're just following the Biden plan. But that was Biden's big thing when nobody wanted to. When we decided we weren't going to go with the program on the vaccination. It was like,
well,
it's a war. Vaccination.
Okay, when
vax. You remember?
Yeah, okay. When Jesse Ventura about 6 years ago did his show where he discovered all these coffins and all these FEMA camps and all these motherfuckers answering no questions, all wearing sunglasses and don't know shit, but you know something is going on.
Yeah.
They was working on that shit back then. That was during the time Obama was the president.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And then I remember they introduced legislation into the U.S. Congress,
No.
and every other word that's coming out the congressman's mouth who's introducing this legislation is classified. You can't say every other word is classified. You know, dealing with biochemical classified. You know, travel classified. You know,
Yeah.
communications, all that shit. Then what the fuck you see after that? Then all these damn 5G towers start coming up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're
You see?
enacting their grand plan little by little.
Oh yeah, but what's happening is that they divert people's attention with these stupid ass ads, this stupid shit, just like Brother Che was saying and Ramel was saying, is they want to distract us, you know, with this alphabetized agenda, this non-binary shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, that type of shit.
Yeah.
Yep. People,
Yeah.
I've been watching different programs that people have been, especially masculine black men, have been really advocating for. They don't want this agenda to be shoved down their throat, and then be persecuted for their masculinity and their
Well, I'm gonna tell you
heterosexuality.
something. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. More power to heterosexual black males.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, our lives matter too.
Exactly.
See,
Our lives matter too.
yeah,
That was good. That was
Yeah.
good.
yeah. You say they want us to sit up here and endorse all this bullshit, but when it comes down to it, it's up to us to take care of ourselves. And as you said, Brother Che, these other groups got to go hold their own goddamn nuts. We can't do it for them no more.
Nope.
The day of the ass scratching the Yassa boss is over. The day of the slave is over.
Yep.
The day of the coon is over.
Yep. The day of the bootlick is over.
Yeah, all that. All that minstrel ass shit. Amos and Andy, all that bullshit.
Right.
Say, and it'll be a wonderful thing because the playoffs are getting ready to come up in the NFL, right?
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. I was gonna ask you about that too.
Oh no, now is the perfect time, and I'm saying it on this media. I'm asking all black NFL players to not participate in the NFC AFC championship games and the Super Bowl.
It's too early.
Do you know who's going to the playoffs?
No, they don't even suit up for the fucking game. And the reason being is because you see the economical shift that it will send a message to these team owners is that's all that advertisement money that they outlaid, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if these guys don't play, then those people who outlaid that money for the advertisement, guess what? They're gonna want their money back.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get back to this topic.
Mm-hmm.
According to this article, it says, while much remains unknown about Omicron, health experts are worried that its many mutations could make it far more transmittable than variants such as Delta. In South
Oh
Africa,
yes.
the country's National Institute for Communicable Diseases said Wednesday that Omicron overtook other virus variants in November, accounting for 74% of the genome sequence last month.
Mm-hmm.
Delta has previously been dormant in that country, where daily infection numbers have roughly quadrupled over the past 4 days.
Wow.
Fauci, the top U.S. infectious disease expert, told Bloomberg TV on Friday that it was comforting but not definitive that the rapid increase in South Africa's caseload has not yet been followed by a comparable surge in hospitalizations, adding that there could be a time lag.
Okay, well that just sounds like they're putting it out there to get more and more of that vaccine and shit there to exterminate the people right there to get the natural resources.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You know, that's the way I'm reading it in the overall scheme of things.
Fauci warned Friday that there was absolutely community spread in the United States. President Biden said the country must support global efforts to stop the spread of coronavirus, especially as new variants emerge.
All right, here's how they could do it. All right, Fauci, Bezos, Gates, half the motherfuckers down there in Hollywood, get on the next spaceship with the motherfuckers and blast off SpaceX or whatever what the fuck y'all are calling it, right? And fly that son of a bitch with all those assholes on it straight to the sun and do the world a favor.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what they can do. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna move us to the next topic.
Yes, sir.
The next topic is Bill Cosby. Prosecutors asks Supreme Court to review decision to overturn conviction. So they just won't leave Bill Cosby alone.
Right. And what it is once again, that's a miscarriage of justice. Just like, you know, the anniversary was either today or yesterday where Fred Hampton and Mark Clark were murdered, you know, early in the morning by the Chicago police and the FBI. So once again, with Bill Cosby, you know, the judicial system, you know, suppressing the black male once again.
Yeah, so the Montgomery County, Pennsylvania District Attorney's Office said a grievous wrong can be corrected. So the grievous wrong wasn't locking this man up for allegations for 3 years. It says prosecutors in Pennsylvania asked the U.S. Supreme Court to review the decision that overturned Bill Cosby's indecent assault conviction, arguing in a petition that Cosby was incorrectly shielded from prosecution. The Montgomery County District Attorney's Office said in a statement Monday that Cosby, 84, shouldn't have been granted immunity because a media statement issued by the previous district attorney said sexual assault charges wouldn't be filed. Where a prosecutor publicly announces that he will not file criminal charges based on lack of evidence, does the due process clause of the 14th Amendment transform that announcement into a binding promise that no charges will ever be filed, a promise that the target may rely on as if they were a grant of immunity? The statement asks.
Well, in regard to that there will be perhaps some of the biggest waste of the taxpayers' money going on. Okay, it's because if any damn thing, them women probably drugged Bill Cosby.
Word.
Looking at them raggedy ass tub washwoman looking motherfuckers. Oh hell no.
Right. You know, I was thinking to myself too, like, I mean, that's just more symbolism.
Yeah, well, but you got to ask yourself this. If Cosby was out to do some shit like that, right? Like I said before on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, when we did the story on the Bill Cosby case as it was unfolded, if he had wanted some motherfucking prostitutes, all he had to do was get in his limousine and go down Ventura Boulevard. That's all he had to do, because you got all kind of women out there that want to make their big debut and you know what, for their big audition.
Right.
And that's all he had to do.
He could have called a
so you know, this once again, this shit don't add up.
Right.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
But continuing reading, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court in June overturned Cosby's indecent assault conviction and ordered his release from prison after it found that he was denied protection against self-incrimination. The court said a prosecutor's decision not to charge Cosby in the earlier case opened the door for him to speak freely in a lawsuit against him, thinking he wouldn't incriminate himself. A second prosecutor later used the lawsuit testimony in a criminal trial, and it was key to his conviction years later. Petitioning to ask the High Court for review was the right to do because of the precedent set in this case by the majority opinion of Pennsylvania Supreme Court that prosecutors' statements and press releases now seemingly create immunity. Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin Steele said in a statement, "This decision as it stands will have far-reaching negative consequences beyond Montgomery County and Pennsylvania." He said, "The U.S. Supreme Court can right what we believe is a grievous wrong." Steele was referring to media statements from Bruce Casser, the Montgomery district attorney at the time, who declined to press charges, thereby allowing Cosby to be forced to testify in a subsequent civil action, according to the court. Unable to invoke any right not to testify in the civil proceedings, Cosby relied upon the district attorney's declination and proceeded to provide 4 sworn depositions. During those depositions, Cosby made several incriminating statements. Justice David Welch wrote in a 79-page opinion, joined by Justices Deborah Todd, Christine Donahue, and Sally Updike Mundy. The fruits of Cosby's reliance upon D.A. Castor's decision, Cosby's sworn inculpatory testimony, were then used by D.A. Castor's successors against Cosby at Cosby's criminal trial, Welch wrote. Jennifer Bunn Jean, Cosby's attorney, who is based in Manhattan, said Monday afternoon that her client's case is factually unique and doesn't involve important federal questions. It demonstrates a unwillingness to accept the decision of the state high court. She said, "It seems unlikely that the United States Supreme Court would review a case like this. It seems like a waste of resources and time."
Right.
He once dubbed America's Dad was sent to state prison after his conviction in 2018 for drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Castant in 2004. She testified that Cosby assaulted her at his Pennsylvania home after she went to him for career advice. Cosby was convicted on 3 felony counts and was serving a 3 to 10-year sentence. He had served nearly 3 years of the sentence. The state's Supreme Court said Cosby can't be retired on the same charges.
Well, that's interesting. That sounds like on the verge of double jeopardy right there.
Yeah.
But that case though against Mr. Cosby, in my opinion, is tainted. Number one, and like I said, and I still ask the same question, is that if he had wanted to go get some type of broads like that, all he had to do was get in his limousine and go down Ventura Boulevard, there in LA in the San Fernando Valley, and he could have got any type of woman he wanted for whatever purpose.
Right.
Say so, so just on that basis alone, right there, you say, I mean, it's a waste of the court's time, and it's a waste of the taxpayers' money with that shit.
Yeah, it is.
And then keep in mind is that looking at these women that they showed up in on social media, they seem to be quite unattractive. Hell, like I said, if any damn thing, they was probably trying to drug Bill.
I doubt it. Maybe they try to root for you. He should be pressing charges against them.
Hey.
That be the audacity and the fucking ugliness of it all.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They just won't leave him alone.
Yeah. Well, see, when he made the announcement that he was going to try to acquire NBC, right? You have to keep in mind about something. Companies like NBC, Universal Pictures, Warner Brothers, Paramount, you see, they got certain traditions. You see, those are multi-trillion-dollar organizations within themselves. And then, of course, with social media, enhance their industry indirectly as well, too. So what no way in hell, man, that they was going to sell NBC to a black motherfucker, man.
Right.
I'm dead serious.
You're right, though.
You see? Ain't no fucking way in hell.
Positive images of black people.
Well, exactly, because Bill Cosby did a lot to promote positive black male images. Right. You see? And he always had emphasized education, Dr. William H. Cosby Jr., professor of education, See, and then when he did the Cosby Show and they did the spinoff show called A Different World, you had a lot of, because that's the TV series that made Kadeem Hardison a star.
Yeah.
And Jasmine Guy got famous off that show. And then there was a third one on there.
Yeah.
I forgot who it was, who the character was.
No.
Raven-Symoné was on Cosby Show?
She was on the Cosby Show.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the spinoff of the Cosby Show called A Different World.
God, what was that one lady named, the real pretty one?
That was Jasmine Guy.
Was it Jasmine Guy, the one with the long locks?
The one with the locks.
That
was
the one was in the movies. The light-skinned sister with the long locks.
Oh, you talking about Lisa Bonet?
Lisa Bonet. There you go.
Yeah, that's who you're talking about. Yeah, Lisa Bonet. Yeah.
There was a couple of movies after that.
Yeah, but you see, the point is though is that the imagery that Cosby had set up all his career. You see, once again, that there's a black male that they want to tear down. The man was educated. You know what I'm saying? Plus, he was a positive influence in the black community. So you're gonna. Yeah, but you want to tear him down with these raggedy ass looking barbiturate, dope fiend ass raggedy looking creature of the lagoon vampire looking motherfucking broads.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, them chicks look like absolute total shit. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
Some ugly ass looking broads, attention seekers.
Yep.
Like the key words, they going to him. See, they going to Bill Cosby for career advice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you see something right there?
Yeah, that's a major problem.
Yeah. Do you see something right here, folks?
Yeah. Another thing I want to add to that is that, aside from it, is because I feel like they won't leave him alone because they had to let him out. And they had to say they were wrong. And now they're fucking with him so they can just find a way to lock his ass back up or take away whatever money he has left. I mean, what is this symbolicism? Is it going to get him shit? He's lost 3 years, however many jobs he could have had. whatever money, whatever. He's lost a lot. So unless they're gonna give him actual money and time, it's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He should be compensated for that. They
Oh, absolutely.
they effed up. But
Oh,
this brings us
absolutely.
to our next topic. Speaking of
Yes, sir.
somebody that's seeking media attention, the Jussie Smollet Trial has begun. For those that don't know, Jussie Smollett was an actor on the show Empire,
Yeah.
and he staged the hoax back in 2019, where he was uh, allegedly assaulted by two Africans who he said attacked him because he was gay and because he was black or
Yeah.
Wow.
and the white owned media ran with this shit,
Right.
talking about this is a hate crime and we have to deal with the homophobia in the black community and all of this shit. This article from CNN says two brothers testified in court over the past 2 days that Empire actor Jussie Smollett directed them to carry out a fake hate crime while pretending to be Donald Trump supporters in an attempt to get media attention. So this black family is all about getting some goddamn media attention.
Damn. Boy, man, you can't make this shit up, man. You know what I'm saying? Damn.
Yeah, so
So
these
my
two brothers,
yeah.
they're both Nigerians. I'm gonna have trouble pronouncing their names.
Uh-huh.
One goes by Bola, and the
Uh-huh.
other one goes by Ola. Provided
Okay.
critical testimony on Wednesday and Thursday in Smollett's criminal trial on charges that he staged the attack and falsely reported it to the police. The prosecution
Okay,
arrested
so yeah.
The prosecution arrested Thursday evening after 3 days of testimony, in which it called 7 witnesses, including the brothers. Bola told
Hello?
jurors, "Yeah, we're here,
Yeah, we're
Shabaka.
here.
Can you hear us, Shabaka?" Oh, we lost him. Anyway, continuing on, Bola told jurors that Smollett had the crazy idea of having 2 MAGA supporters attack him, and he wanted to put that on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So he supposedly goes out at 2 o'clock in the morning to get some damn Subway during a polar vortex where it was below 0 degrees. Okay, Shabak is back.
Yeah. Okay, so therefore this dude, man, they're bringing him up on charges saying that he filed a false police report
Mm-hmm.
saying that these individuals attacked him because he was gay or he plays gay or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, he
Man.
said they attacked him because he was gay and that he was black.
Okay.
Nigerian?
Yeah,
That's funny.
and he staged
Okay.
the whole thing was staged.
Man, it's a bunch of bullshit, man. You know. So so in my opinion, I think this motherfucker just wants to be important, man.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, he wants to be important.
So, the prosecutor in the case said that Bola was tasked with hitting Smollett, while Smollett wanted Ola to put a noose around his neck and pour gasoline on him. They also changed gasoline to bleach because Ola said, "I wasn't comfortable pouring gasoline on somebody."
Damn.
In order to blame
Wow.
white supremacy.
Who are you? We got somebody watching us on YouTube.
Oh.
Check.
Damn, man. This shit is crazy.
Yeah, so
All right.
Smollett, who is black and gay, has said two men struck him, yelling anti-gay and racist remarks, put a noose around his neck, and poured bleach on him on a frigid night. This is during the polar vortex when it was below zero for weeks on at a
Uh-huh.
in the January of 2019,
Mm-hmm.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Police initially investigated the incident as a possible hate crime and
Right.
significant resources into solving the case and locating the two men.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
after interviewing them and finding other evidence, authorities instead determined that Smollett paid the men $3,500 to stage the hate crime against him.
Mm-hmm.
He could get publicity and a career boost.
God damn.
He was on Empire. I mean, he was making money.
Smollett has pleaded not guilty to 6 counts of disorderly conduct for allegedly making false reports to police that he was a victim of a hate crime. His defense attorney said in opening statements, he is a real victim, and the men saw the actor as a mark or target.
Mm.
Thursday's session got heated, and defense attorneys called for a mistrial. One of the lawyers alleged Judge James Lynn lunged at her, and another said the judge was making facial expressions. We lost Shabaki again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to read this whole damn article. But yeah, Black family, he did all this just for publicity. So I believe he's facing up to 3 years in prison for these false allegations that he put forth. So yeah, I just thought I would bring it to our attention about what's happening with this case
Mm-hmm.
and this trial.
I think it's just weird and it's a waste of time. Like, why couldn't they just write him a ticket and pay a fine?
Because you made false statements, that's criminal. You can go to jail for making false statements.
Yeah, and if it was like that, what was the point to get the to basically call out white supremacy with the noose and the gasoline and shit?
He was trying to say that they were he was trying to merge homophobia with racism.
Oh, I can see the homophobia, but not the racism. Yeah,
That's why he was having them dress up as MAGA supporters.
yeah, but they're Nigerian.
Yeah, but they're not foundational Black American. They're not from this country.
Yeah, but I don't think he shared those. I don't think he is he aligned with us?
No.
Yeah. Okay, I was confused. Uh, it is interesting. What do you think will happen?
I think he's gonna go to jail.
Whoa. Are they gonna go to jail too?
He paid them to do this.
So they're just as guilty.
Yeah. I'm trying to see how much time. Keep talking about it.
Huh?
Keep talking about it long.
Well, yeah, because like according to other things, like this case has been going on for a minute, like over a year or so. Which is
2
crazy.
years.
Yeah, 2 years. So it's crazy that they're finally going to trial now. Right, it's trial.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's kind of crazy. It's almost like it's like another big waste of money. Like, in my opinion, I feel like it's a big waste of money. I mean, dude was on Empire, and he was like what, like the
Lost
fifth
you.
star, fourth
Welcome
star?
back.
He's like
Yeah.
one of the main characters, so you know he was getting bread, and he was like one of the talented ones of the siblings. So it's like, you know, he's making money. There's kind of no reason to do that. Him wanting a fucking sandwich at 2 o'clock in the morning in the middle of a winter storm. That's crazy.
In the middle of not a winter storm.
Yeah, it's like a blizzard, right?
No, it was a polar vortex. So it was below zero for like weeks at a time.
Yeah, like, I mean, shit. I guess you get hungry all times of the night, but God.
And he went at the coldest part of the night.
Right.
2 a.m.
I would like to know what he was doing up until 2 a.m. and why he had to wait so long. And don't they have delivery?
No, well, see, that's that bullshit they stage out of Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would like to know who put him up to this shit.
Right.
Probably his
I don't
agent.
think he would have thought of that on his own. You know?
You'll be surprised at what these motherfuckers have come up with about LA with that shit. We really would. And then, you know, he's trying to make a name for himself. And then, you know, and he's got people invested in him, you see. And the way they make their money back is off of him making his.
Yeah, so he's saying that he got jumped for being gay and black. And
By two Nigerian people.
the prosecution said in the opening statement that Smollett orchestrated the attack for publicity and a career boost. Charged that Smollett earned between $100,000 and $125,000 per episode, about $2 million for a season.
Right.
From Empire.
Yeah, so he was making bank. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he didn't have to do that. And he had notoriety. People knew who he was on the show. It's not like he's a nobody. Anybody was watching, and believe me, Empire, everybody and their mother was watching Empire that watches like, you know, TV and shit late at night, you know, like around from 7 to 9. Most people were watching prime time regular TV, and this was on what, Fox?
Yeah.
And this was on Fox for like what, 5, 6 seasons?
Well, everybody that watches stuff like that know who he was.
That was like 5, 6 seasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had millions of viewers.
Yeah, but you see,
seasons. Except for like I think the last one. He was in all seasons except for like the last one. I think. Pretty sure he got cut off on one of the seasons because he fucked up or did something and they had started to boot him out. Can't remember what he did actually or why they took him off the show. But yeah, he was on the show and he was actively gay on the show.
Yeah, that was sick.
Besides that, he was actively gay on the show. It's not like he was closeted gay and he went to say, you know, Subway and allegedly people were like, oh no, let's just grab this. And where is it, New York? Chicago. Yeah, we just grabbed this for Chicago got loads of black people. I can't figure it out. And gay people.
Yep. Chicago is definitely a chocolate city. That's for damn sure. Yeah. And then, but the thing is, though, is that that's the fuck up thing about Los Angeles and that whole Hollywood scene. As I said before, you could pull up an album called The City of Angels by a group called The Miracles back in 1975. And it's got a series of songs on there where they tell you about the fuck up lifestyle of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so that dude, he just got caught up in that shit. Probably owed somebody some money, you know?
That's crazy. I mean, what if they would have killed him? Like, what if they actually would have went through it? You know what I mean? Like, seriously, anything can happen. It's cold. It's cold, you know what I mean? Or you just might want to get warm and light them up, actually light them up. You know?
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah, it gets cold there.
Yeah. And this was during a polar vortex, so it was colder than normal.
Mm-hmm.
So at 2 o'clock, nobody got anything better to do but get a plan together and tie people up and throw gasoline on them and have conscious feelings about not doing it. Yeah, right.
With
crazy.
MAGA hats on.
But yeah, like God, why would you even wear that in the first place? Could you just wear a beanie? Fuck, I'm sure that's warmer than a fucking MAGA hat.
Yeah, right? shit is crazy.
No answers. You know what I mean? I kind of can't wait for the trial because this could be really amusing. Yeah, I haven't started watching the trial, so I can't be amused. And I just thought he was going to court the first time. That's how unimportant this case is. Like I didn't really look into it. Like when it first happened, I ignored it. I was just like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? And now I'm like, well, damn, they're really putting out all these articles again. Should probably look into the trial.
Yeah,
but just from reading it, I'm not liking it.
Professor Black Truth did an excellent expose on it.
Yeah.
Called the Smollet hoax.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good episode. Next topic.
Shabaka is muted or something. The next topic.
I'm back.
Okay. So we're moving on to the next topic.
Uh-huh.
And that is 3 teenagers charged as adults in Aurora shooting. So this article from the Westward here in Denver, Colorado. And it says on November 30th, the 18th Judicial DA's office formally charged 3 16-year-olds, Larry Jefferson, Darlin Brewer, and Diego Flores as adults in the November 19th shooting in the parking lot of Aurora's Hinckley High School that wounded 3.
Wow.
This decision wasn't unexpected. Prosecutors are more likely to accuse teens of adult crimes in high-profile cases, and the recent rash of shootings involving young people in Aurora certainly qualifies. 15 youth were shot in the community over the 2 weeks between November 19th and November 28th. And one was killed. The latter, identified as 17-year-old Peyton Blitzstein, is believed to have exchanged shots with Alan Holland, and former Greenwood Village police officer who has not yet been charged in relation to the incident. As for Jefferson, Brewer, and Flores, they were charged under a system so complicated that the district attorney's office provided a primer to help explain it. Moreover, charging teens as adults for crimes that don't result in death is rare, and convictions at that level are far from guaranteed. Jefferson and Brewer are both scheduled for a status conference on December 15th. Jefferson faces the following charges: 4 counts of attempted first-degree murder, 1 count of first-degree assault, second-degree assault, using a prohibited large capacity magazine during a crime, and possession of a weapon on school grounds, as well as 2 crime of violence sentence enhancers. Brewer is looking at 4 counts of attempted first-degree murder, 1 count each of first-degree assault, second-degree assault, and possession of a weapon on school grounds, and 2 crime of violence sentence enhancers. Flores faces the same charge as Brewer, but his status conference won't take place until March 7th of 2022.
Wow.
Yeah. like brewery, but brewer.
Right. No, but that maybe into some other people, you know.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think so too. Man, that's tragic like a motherfucker.
While whenever a juvenile suspect is taken into custody, according to the DA's office, law enforcement agencies are bound by the Colorado Children's Code, which states in part the information that is open to the public regarding a juvenile who is charged with a delinquent act shall not include the juvenile's name, birth date, or photograph. However, the explainer continues, some cases are eligible for direct filing into the district court. This is what is typically called charging as an adult by the news media. The statute in question states a juvenile may be charged by the direct filing of information in district court or by indictment only if the juvenile is 16 years of age or older at the time of the commission of the alleged offense and is alleged to have committed a class 1 or class 2 felony. Shabak is muted. But thoughts, babe.
Loads. First of all, I just want to make sure I got the facts right. Is there any way you can read that first paragraph again, real quick? Just the main points. About the three of them, they're black, right?
Yes.
The ones that couldn't, the ones that allegedly couldn't find, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, look, man, don't they look like somebody's younger brother?
Yes.
Yeah. I would say this. I would say that who rolled on who? That's first. Two, damn, that's a big ass weapon. Three, they're getting charged as adults. Adults. And you know, when we look at it like this, they're all black. You know, they're going to prison, right? But in the other cases that are just been happening, it's white kids doing this, and they're not getting as much the looks of their crime in the court is not looking like theirs. Like here in Aurora, they're getting charged as adults. These ones might get juvenile potential charges, and maybe their parents might get charged. You know what I mean? But I mean, like Rittenhouse what, like 17?
Yep.
Right? They're like 17, right?
Yeah.
Rittenhouse went to another state with an assault rifle. Even if he did fuck on three other white people, there's three black kids and one assault rifle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one assault rifle. And there's a lot of factors there. It's really if it's it's terrible for those kids that did it or didn't do it or been accused of doing it. Terrible whoever's talking about them like that. Terrible that shit happened, and that the parents and the parents there, especially at that school, that's like predominantly Hispanic kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Hinkley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hinkley is predominantly Hispanic kids. It might be half and half because it's right there in North Aurora. Yeah, it's North Aurora. It's right there in North Aurora, so it might be a little bit like half and half.
Chambers Heights.
Yeah, might be like half and half, but either way, whatever happened that day, it's terrible, and that these ones particularly are going to be charged as adults. I don't know what their records look like as juveniles, but I pray that they get a good defense. One person died, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one person died.
Wow.
Aurora, I can speak on Aurora. Here in Aurora, it's pretty lively over here. It's really lively lately over the last couple of months, and I mean
just about every night the past month has been gunshots.
Yeah,
somebody getting killed.
Yeah, I don't like to speak on it.
Damn.
I don't like to speak on it like how you just said it. it should. I'll just say it's pretty active. I'll just say it's pretty active, and it's been active for a while. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't even have. I didn't mean to say but. This at the school is a bit much. You know what I mean? Um, and they're gonna be charged like that is terrible. That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact is that that even if it's like alleged wrong kid, maybe it was somebody else, whatever's going on with this, it's gonna be a real ugly little battle because the families here are like really want their city protected, really want this part of Aurora protected, and so the families at that school have been pushing hard for police to be there every day, all day on certain news broadcasts that I've seen. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought they picked up one more. I thought there was like three. I thought there was four. They picked up like another person. But there's also wasn't there another shooting? Like two, right? Like one back, right?
Yeah.
At the school, right? Or school in a park or something like that. Yeah.
The park. Yeah.
Yeah.
Known park.
Nome Park, which is right down the road from the school. Well, yeah. Yeah, it's right down the road.
Um,
Yeah.
Not really.
Yes, Hinkley's right
No,
there.
Hinkley's on Chambers.
Hinkley's on
Hinkley,
Chambers.
Hinkley's on like 13th and Chambers.
And Nome is
And
where? Nome is
known
right here,
as
right by me.
Peoria.
Right here.
Yeah, so that's not down the street.
Okay, right now.
That's,
Technicalities. It's in the area.
it's in the same city.
Same city. It's yeah, it's in the same city. I look at it like this. Me personally, I'm here. So when I say like Nome and Chambers, I'm thinking it's right down the street.
No, not known as
Right? No,
Chambers.
I know Nome
Yeah.
and Hinkley is at Chambers.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So in my mind, I'm looking at it like that, being in this area for this area all the time. Like you know, what I mean? I know that everything's like right down the street for me. You know, it's within a 15-minute distance. It's like a quick right around the corner for me. But how he's saying it, yeah, it looks like a distance. It's a little distance, not very far, like half a
Mm.
mile, right? Not half a mile. You don't think it's half a mile? A mile.
Chambers,
Chambers,
Peoria.
Peoria,
That's at least a mile.
mile and a half then. Two at the most. Less than 15 minutes. Right in a car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
like about like 9-10 minutes with traffic. Probably quicker if you know the streets. You know what I mean?
Right.
However, however, it's still bad. There's so many details that I think that the article is not really giving, and it doesn't even matter because they're getting charged as adults, and they pretty much have kind of like wiped their hands with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. I do want to say though that I don't think that as much as Aurora is talking about, the citizens here in Aurora about patrolling, keeping the neighborhood safe, I don't see a lot of action in that
Mm-hmm.
because I patrol the neighborhood. I patrol Aurora all the way from like where I'm at all the way to Peoria. Sometimes, like even in the south area, I go different parts of North Aurora, and I know that I don't see anybody really patrolling this area, and I go randomly just to maneuver the streets, just look around, you know, because it's kind of hot, right now, a little active, and
Mm-hmm.
I think too, like if you live here and you live in the area in a high crime zone right now, this is considered a high crime zone, right?
Yeah.
This is considered a high crime zone. That if you're familiar with the high crime zone, you know how to maneuver in the high crime zone. So what you're
Mm-hmm.
used to seeing is not like everybody else seeing it. Everybody else seeing it is like, oh my God, this is crazy. You seeing it's like every other day is normal, you know what I mean? So I'm looking at
Right.
the every other day normal perspective versus the people who don't see it often and it's looking terrible.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I trying to look at it from the other perspective, but I live in this area and familiar with this area really really well. Just like in other certain different parts, I don't feel a sense of danger, but other people probably would. I would see it as
Well, they're not from that neighborhood.
Yeah, they say it's quite rambunctious, but I was, it was just outside. It was just outside. It's active. Right?
Yeah, but you
they're gonna
see,
charge
but
them as adults, and what they're saying is they might give them the death penalty.
Oh, we're in that state.
well, you see, once again, that there just supports, pulling our youth up out of these public indoctrination centers is because, you see, this is where they are acquiring this behavior. You see what I mean? And these public indoctrination centers are designed to fail black youth.
What? But we're not. But it got overturned, right?
Yeah.
After the. Okay. Yeah. I think we got a troll in our chat. I don't know where you're from. Czech, Russia, Germany. You don't need to comment. It's cool. We can't read it anyway. Thank you though. Yeah, it's like, what is that? Czech, like
it's two of them.
Yeah, two different ones. Like bots.
Russian.
Yeah. Yeah, we're cool. Thanks for viewing. No need to comment. We can't read it. Yeah, it's terrible. If they're seeking the death penalty.
They said in cases where they pursue the death penalty, they're talking about these juvenile cases.
Yeah, they can't pursue if we don't have it here, right? They can only give them life, right?
Yeah.
Well, they gotta turn adults.
Or probably try them as adults.
Yeah, they're trying them as adults.
Yeah.
What they're saying as a result, I'm just gonna read it. Mm-hmm. So it says, as a result, the Colorado legislature passed laws that let prosecutors skip the hearings. The direct file statute relieves a prosecutor from having to prove the child is no longer amenable to treatment in the juvenile system. Even when prosecutors are seeking the death penalty, they have to give notice.
Is it like a denial of due process right there?
Even when prosecutors are seeking the death penalty, they have to give notice. It's a separate sentencing hearing, and a jury decides whether or not to impose the death penalty.
Yeah, but
even that level of due process is absent from the direct file statute.
So they don't get due process.
They don't get that. It's saying they don't get that level of due process.
Yeah, but they're still minors. They're getting charged as adults.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still they do get due process.
They're only getting charged as adults if they're over 16.
Right? Well, how old are they?
They're 16.
So they're afforded due process then. Juvenile due process. Is there a juvenile due process, Chewbacca?
Okay. Well, it all depends on what state you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, it all depends on what state you're in.
Yeah. This is terrible. Like that, you know what that means? That means they're not gonna let them defend themselves. Because then that paragraph right before that, what was like about the lawyers and the defense. Paragraph right before that.
Mm-hmm.
See, but one thing you have to recognize about the court system is that all of them are lawyers in there. The DA, the one representing the defendant, the judge. You see, all of these are doctors of jurisprudence. Right. You see, they all got law degrees. So quite naturally, of course, they come from a commonality. You see what I mean? And then people's lives is what they play with.
Yeah.
Fight of life, life, death penalty, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then a motherfucker who should have went to jail like shit in the house. You see, you got a damn senile ass judge. Half the shit he's doing is improper. And then they're saying that in their judicial codes of Wisconsin is that, I think with him being an old bastard, he's got the job for life. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
See, so it sounds like to me, man, is that they state Supreme Court in Wisconsin needs to issue some type of injunction or what have you, see if they can go pick that fool back up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Damn.
See,
Yeah.
the motherfuckers need to be on that today.
Yeah, they do.
Actually, as in yesterday.
So, in regards to this case, we don't know what the fate of these youth are, but they're going to charge them as adults.
Wow.
Yeah.
So with them being charged as adults, they got a right to go to a jury trial, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking. Like, can't take that away from them, and I feel bad in a way because, in a way, like if you know the area, there's a lot of certain families here, big families, and some of these little boys, they're like 16, little boys look like somebody's baby brother, and if that's the case, that's real tragic because a lot of these children got family that's locked up forever,
Yep.
for life, for a long time, due to whatever,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And that part is really sad to me,
Yeah.
if I'm right, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know. They just look familiar, like somebody's baby brother, somebody's little cousin. They grew up and decided to get, whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
as you know, one thing about the court system, it does make it a point to disrupt a lot of families.
Yep.
Hmm. Yeah, especially
Just by the
yeah.
yeah, but just by the very nature of his existence.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
See,
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna continue us on to the next topic.
sure.
The next topic is Clarence Avant, the godfather of black music. His wife was killed in Beverly Hills, and from the research I've done on it, she was killed by a member of the Pyrus, and it seemed like it was a targeted attack. Um, he ran it, or they don't think it was a random attack. So I'm going to read this article from the Hollywood Reporter,
Mm-hmm.
which says Jacqueline Avant, wife of music icon Clarence Avant, shot and killed in Beverly Hills home. Police chief says he doesn't think it was a random attack, and the investigation continues. Jacqueline Avant, the philanthropist and wife of the legendary music executive Clarence Avant, was shot and killed Wednesday in her Beverly Hills home. Police said she was 81. Jacqueline and Clarence's daughter, Nicole Avant, is married to Netflix co CEO and chief content officer Ted Sarandos. A Netflix spokesperson confirmed that Clarence Avant was not injured. I don't think it's a random attack, said Beverly Hills Police Chief Mark G. Stanbrook. Crime of any type will not be tolerated, and we will not rest until the suspect or suspects are brought to justice.
All right. Now, as you know, Beverly Hills is its own separate city.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in Los Angeles County, and Beverly Hills is right next to West Hollywood and Hollywood and parts of the Wilshire district. Because if you take Wilshire Boulevard due west from downtown, once you cross La Cienega and Wilshire, you're in the city of Beverly Hills. And then it goes all northwest and what have you up there past the Sunset Strip and what have you. Okay, so quite natural, of course, with that there being Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, the entertainment industry, all the riffraff. Hey, be interesting how that case pans out. But one thing I will say, do not be black and get stopped in the city of Beverly Hills.
Right.
And that's for real.
Very true. Very true. Yep. There's been countless people like rappers and shit that go to Beverly Hills and get stopped randomly, and they got loot in their pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But keep in mind, we don't have no economical power base in Beverly Hills or Hollywood or anything like that. But if we did, you see that could shift the political situation as well, too.
Yeah, so it says according to documents provided by the Hollywood Reporter by the Beverly Hills Police Department, its communications center received a call at 2:23 a.m. in response to a shooting in the 1100 block of Mater Place in the high-end Torresdale Estates neighborhood.
True. Wait a minute. Is that Trousdale? That's Truesdale Estates.
Truesdale's Estates.
Yeah, that's the Beverly Hills of Beverly Hills.
Upon arrival, police discovered a victim with a gunshot wound. The person was transported to Cedars-Sinai Hospital.
Cedars-Sinai. No, that's Cedars-Sinai Hospital.
Sinai
Hospital. Yeah, Cedars-Sinai. Yeah, there's in the Fairfax district over there off of 3rd and Fairfax, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
The report confirmed the suspects were no longer on the scene when police arrived. TMZ was the first to report the news, stating the shooting occurred during a home invasion.
So it was a home invasion robbery.
Yep.
And based on that, what you were saying, it was the Pyrus, it appeared to be the Pyrus to go up there that did a home invasion.
Yep.
In Beverly Hills.
Yep.
And this person wound up dead.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Whoever did that job, they're through.
Yep.
Through. And that does feel targeted. Or planned out, you know what I mean? Like targeted or set up, planned out. I mean, come on, like Pyro's really checking out this dude and decided to go and bust in his house and rob his crib and shoot his wife.
Out of all the homes in Beverly Hills.
Out of all the homes and all the stores.
The
jewelry stores of all places. You know what I mean?
During a news briefing Wednesday afternoon, Stanbrook provided a few details about the shooting, but said it was a difficult day for our city and shared a message for the Avent family, calling their contributions to the city and entertainment industry unmatched. The entire Avent and Andos families wish to thank everyone for their outpouring love, support, and heartfelt condolences for Jacqueline Avent. Reads the statement provided to The Hollywood Reporter. Jacqueline was an amazing woman, wife, mother, and philanthropist, and a 55-year-old resident of Beverly Hills who has made an immeasurable positive impact on the arts community. She will be missed by her family, friends, and all the people she has helped throughout her amazing life. Clarence Avent, 90, known as the godfather of Black music, is a pioneering deal maker and Grammy-winning exec who has mentored and helped launch the careers of countless artists in the music and entertainment industries, including Little Willie John, Bill Withers, Michael Jackson, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, L.A. Reid, and Babyface.
Yeah, I remember those guys.
God, man.
I remember Bill Withers, and I remember Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam when they produced Janet Jackson's Control album in the 80s.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's how you know that I'm an old bastard. The 80s, that's damn near 40 years ago. 40 years. Yeah. Yeah, getting old ain't nothing nice.
They got married in 1967, and they've been together for more than 50 years.
Damn. Yeah, yeah, 1967. Yeah, the big hit of the day in 1967 was Bernadette by the Four Tops. Let's see, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. You know, they had a number of hits going on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, the Four Tops with Bernadette. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels targeted to me. Or set up.
Yeah.
Like somebody set them up.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe somebody had animosity towards this man. Because, I mean, who doesn't love any of those people? If they helped make, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The music go out. And come on now. Everybody loves older music or R&B, you know?
Well, like I said before many times, that's Los Angeles County for you.
True that.
Yep, Beverly Hills is in the county of Los Angeles. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. But the sad part is, though, like I said, you know, of all the shit that goes on out there in Hollywood, Beverly Hills, you know, the San Fernando Valley, off in those canyon homes and stuff like that. But, you know, that's where they got a lot of money being made at.
Right.
Say, yeah, that's where all the movers and shakers are, you know. Not just so much in Los Angeles, but around the world, up in Silicon Game Valley too. Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
right. So I'm gonna move us to our next topic,
Yes, sir.
and that is what happened to Jelani Day. Jelani Day, mysterious death in Illinois. This is Jelani Day on the screen. Promising young man. Um, he was a grad student at one of the universities in Illinois, and his death is real. His disappearance and death is real mysterious.
Mm.
So, according to the research I've done on him, when his body was found floating in a river, or I'll just read what this article says. Can you see the picture, Shabaka?
Yeah, I see the pictures. Yeah.
Okay. So, the family of Jelani Day believe he was murdered, and his mother says her black son deserves as much attention as the disappearance and the death of Gabby Pateo,
Oh yeah.
a white woman whose disappearance and death drew millions of responses. The
Mm-hmm.
family of 25-year-old Jelani Day, an Illinois graduate student, was I can't speak right now. Inexplicably vanished, and whose body was later found floating in a river, is desperate for answers. And there are few in this perplexing case that have stumped investigators and devastated his relatives and family. He was not the type of young man to go off the radar. He did not ignore calls or texts from family and friends. He was a responsible, dedicated student pursuing a master's degree in speech pathology at Illinois State University. He had
Mm.
graduated from Alabama A&M University with a bachelor's degree in the same field. He wanted to be a doctor. Yet in August,
Damn.
they did exactly what he'd never done before. He went off the radar. He didn't report to class. He didn't answer his phone. His family and the professor reported him missing on August 25th of this year. 10 days later, search teams found his bloated remains floating in the Illinois River near Peru, some 60 miles north of where went to college. So my research on Peru is it is a sundown town.
Mm.
Mm.
It took a month for the LaSalle County coroner's office to possibly identify the extremely decomposed body as belonging to Day. Now, here's where it gets real effed up, right? So the case took national media attention after Day's grief-stricken mother, Cameron Bowden Day, said, "Missing white woman syndrome caused the disappearance of Gabby Pateo, a 22-year-old blonde who vanished on a road trip with her fiance, receiving far more attention than her missing black son. Gruesome false rumors ran amok on social media. Day's internal organs are missing, as was his brain and his eyes. His
Oh
mother,
man.
steeped in pain and loss, took to Facebook to plead for calm and for authorities to work harder. Family, we need to hit pause for a moment. As outraged and upset as we are, we must stay the course and stick to the facts in our search for answers." Cameron Bowden Day, Jelani's mother, released a statement, and it reads in part, "Some things need and have been clarified." So what she's saying is there was no organs missing.
Mm.
I do not want to stray off from the facts. They were contradicting facts from the first preliminary autopsy compared to the
Hello.
Shit.
God damn it.
Mm-hmm.
What just happened?
I don't know.
Shabaka. Shabaka. Shabaka again. Okay, well, continuing on.
Mm-hmm.
But compared to the second independent autopsy, but this is not a case of organ harvesting. However, my son did not put himself in the river. My son was murdered, and my goal and purpose are to find out what happened and hold those responsible accountable. Hashtag what happened to Jelani Day. Hashtag justice for Jelani Day. There's a whole timeline about where he went missing. Yeah, family. So I thought we should shed a light on this case, seeing that it didn't get the same media attention as the white girl going missing. That was all over every single news outlet in this country
And social media.
and all over social media.
And then, as you can see, is that they had put a lot of social media material out there. What was the guy's name who was found dead in the swamps of Florida? Her boyfriend. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot his name. But anyway, they had put it all out there, and then just like the sister said right there in regard to her child, you see.
Yeah.
So quite naturally, of course, once again, this here goes to show is that they have a certain idea of us as a people, and they have a certain way they feel about us, that we all have made quite known, that is quite common knowledge,
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, so they give a whole timeline of his disappearance.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up in Peru. His car ended up in Peru. And nobody knows anything because it's a sundown town.
Right. And this is in what state?
Illinois.
Okay.
Peru, Illinois.
Damn. So he did have his organs, or he didn't?
His mother said he did. But people were running on social media saying that his organs were missing, his brain was missing, his eyes were missing. That's what had caught my attention. The person that brought this to my attention, that's why I put it on the show, because I was like, oh, well, this is my first time hearing about it.
Yeah.
Because that other case uh, took precedent over this.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's very unfortunate what happened to this young man. He had his whole life ahead of him. He was definitely going places, and whoever killed him, I hope they're brought to justice and
Right.
due time that they deserve.
Absolutely. And then
About the death penalty, do you know, Shabaka?
I think Illinois does have the death penalty.
Yeah, so I hope they're brought to death.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So quite naturally, of course, our hearts go out to his family.
Right.
Yeah. And his loved ones, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But as we have stated on these platforms, but in regard to our lives, particularly, you know, heterosexual, straight black males, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that, you know, less and less value is put on a black male's life every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, do you know the societal values, moral values, you know, depreciate, you know, on his life every day.
Yep.
And Dr. Frances Cress Wilson was right, you know. And I think we're at that stage that she predicted in her writing. And you, Brother Che, you enlightened me on that book, the ISIS Papers.
ISIS Papers, yeah.
Yeah, where she says through the social engineering, as General Ramel has mentioned, that our youth our youth, you know, the prime of your life was that their 20s, 30s, you know, 40s maybe, have been misdirected intentionally through social engineering starting in the mid 1960s, late 60s, early 70s, 80s, you see.
Yeah.
And then when they, you know, had the drug epidemic of the 80s and 90s, you see, that did a lot. That shattered the black family unit as well, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see.
And they're trying to keep it apart. They don't. I mean, even nowadays, you don't even see black couples holding hands. They're still trying to keep it apart. You know.
Well, you see, you have to understand is that this is social engineering, and this is pre-programming. And the one that leads to pre-programming is your Netflix, your Hollywood. You see what I mean? Then your journalism. You know, like Chris Cuomo getting fired by CNN. You see.
Mm-hmm.
There's been all kind of scandals with journalists and forming public opinion and all this old shit. And they still want us here, you know, to be marginalized, as you said, Brother Che.
Mm-hmm.
You know, calling us people of color and minorities and the various other terms you use. Fuck all that. You know, shit. I'm a black man in America, shit.
Right. Yeah.
You
So
see?
we got another case, another missing persons case, and that is the case of Daniel Robinson, who mysteriously ended up missing in Arizona,
Where in Arizona?
in a town called Buckeye.
All right, is that off of Interstate 10 or is that off of Interstate 40?
I want to say it's off of 40.
Okay, that's northern Arizona.
I'm not 100%.
Okay.
It might be Southern. Buckeye Police Department. Ravine in the desert area. So it must have been off of 10.
Okay, that's in the southern part of Arizona.
Uh-huh.
That's going into Phoenix.
Yeah. So I'm gonna share the screen of what the brother looked like. Another young man that just mysteriously ended up missing. I believe he was 24, 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He was involved in a car crash, and after that, they don't know what happened to him. So,
Damn.
I don't know how to get this off. Let me get this off.
That damn advertisement.
Yeah.
Scroll down, scroll down. You just got to read like that. Yeah.
So, this article from Cartoon News Network says,
Yeah.
new details emerge in the car crash related to Daniel Robinson's disappearance. His car was found nearly a month after he went missing. His dad hired a private investigator to find his son. Details released by police shed more light on the car crash related to the disappearance of Daniel Robinson, the 24-year-old geologist who went missing after leaving a work site in the Arizona desert over the summer. The Jeep Renegade belonging to Robinson, who was reported missing on June 23rd by his father, apparently sped up immediately before it crashed in a ravine in a desert area. The Buckeye Police Department in Arizona said Wednesday. The acceleration right before the crash could indicate an attempt to drive up the other side of the ravine, the police said, citing a collision report from Santan Recon, a collision reconstruction and consultant company. Robinson's SUV was found on July 19th, less than 3 miles away from the work site where he had been last been seen, police said. A pile of clothing and belongings was discovered nearby, Robinson's family said. The report also showed that more than 40 ignition cycles were recorded during the crash, which could indicate attempts to restart the car or use the electric system. The police department said, noting that it's not clear how many of those cycles occurred during tow recovery and when investigators downloaded data. There is an 11-mile discrepancy between the crash data report and the displayed odometer reading, which is not considered unusual, the report said. Similar discrepancies have been noted by Jeep dealership service departments and other crash reconstructionists. The report says still questions remain regarding how Robinson went missing, prompting his family to hire a private independent investigator and form a volunteer search team after his father said he believed police weren't making progress in his son's disappearance. That's him right there.
Mm-hmm.
Once Daniel became missing, we realized, I think, the quick action wasn't there quick enough. His father, David Robinson, told CNN in September, what caused me to have my own searching, to have to do my own searching. David Robinson has said the amount of news coverage his black son's disappearance has received is hurtful when compared to the Gabby Patino case, a white woman whose story became a national obsession for many when she went missing, spurring digital detectives to comb through her online trail to try to solve the case. The story underserved the tens of thousands of missing person stories that do not garner such intense interest. There were nearly 90,000 missing active missing person cases at the end of 2020, according to the National Crime Information Center. You wish you lived in a world where everything was equal, but it's really not equal. Robinson told CNN, adding that he sympathized with Petito's family. We just want
Wow.
the brother says, the family wants answers, and we want answers here on Frontline Black News. What happened to Daniel Robinson?
Right.
Yeah.
Real shit. It just leads me back to last week when I was talking about, black women, black men, young children coming up missing and nobody knows. Just leads me back to that article. It leads me back to that because they've been getting kidnapped and possibly trafficked.
And was this another one of those sundown towns?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sundown. Is it a sundown?
I don't know. Buckeye, Arizona. It sounds like it's a sundown town.
Like it.
Yeah. Because that's still the Wild Wild West.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Probably a lot of oil field there. A lot of things.
No, all what you got in Arizona is desert.
Yep.
Even worse.
Except when you get up there to Flagstaff, then you're in the forest. But other than that, everything else is desert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the brother stands at 5'8". He weighs 165 pounds, and he has black hair and brown eyes. And he is missing his right hand and part of his forearm.
Wow.
And they have searched more than 70 square miles by ground and air. And near the job site and the man's apartment. And his co-workers were also interviewed, and Robinson's financial records were reviewed with family assistance. So his father set up a GoFundMe account. Information on the case is available on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com.
Okay.
So here on Frontline Black News, that we bring it to your attention. Another brother has come up missing.
Cold missing. Yep. And that shit's just fucking ridiculous. And like if we don't report the news, who would have known this?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because as this article also states, that damn Gabby Patalio damn case
got major coverage.
Hella coverage.
Her and the boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we know why that is, black family.
Exactly.
You know exactly.
Yeah.
Then the boyfriend came up dead too, but however, they got major coverage for days and days and days.
And this
white couple. You know what I mean? And these young gentlemen, I'm gonna say young black gentlemen coming up missing, nobody knows. And in regards to the other case, even if the young man was missing organs, I mean, people just don't come up with that, So maybe, perhaps, and we'll respect the mother, but perhaps she didn't want that out there because of the truth behind it, or lack thereof. That's a hypothesis. I'm not sure. But maybe I wouldn't want nobody to know that. You know what I mean? I would lie on that too.
On the last show, we did a story about the hospital taking the black baby's organs.
Right.
So it's not far fetched.
It's not far fetched.
Organ harvesting is real, Black family.
Yep.
Hell yeah, it's real.
Centuries.
Yep.
They've been using our organs for modern medicine.
And
Well, look at the look at the
saying,
book called Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were saying people as close to trafficking or trafficking or selling off their family members could be anybody. Could be your brother, cousin, grandmother, church, clergy, whatever that article say. People like that who seem to find themselves and might be in a desperate state of financial whatever, and these men are coming up missing, just like the women. Our Black women are coming up missing.
We still got 64,000 Black women missing.
We have young Black girls and boys coming up missing.
Wow.
Miles away or in different states with nothing left.
Yeah, so we're going to be shedding more light on this on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. This regular scheduled time on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So make sure y'all tune into that. Make sure you call in with your comments, questions, and concerns. And we'll be having a special edition of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. Well, it's now today, but tomorrow at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah, 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. in the Central Time Zone, and 10 p.m. on the East Coast. And that there's going to be dealing with the family unit. And then, of course, we're in pre-production for Tuesday night show, which is going to be a follow-up on our missing children and missing Black girls.
Right.
Yeah, because we did a episode on that about 3 to 4 years ago. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to review it, and then quite naturally, of course, we're going to bring it up to date, is because it's like a lot of these of our children are being trafficked.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Just say not only in the diaspora, but also too on the continent, is because they had busted one of those adoption agencies, where they took children from East Africa and Uganda, and saying that their parents was dead, but it was all a hoax. Well, not a hoax, but it was bullshit and fuckery around dealing with these adoption agencies that was based out of either Europe or the United States.
Right.
See, so all this shit is like a ring that they got going on.
Mm-hmm. A pedophile ring.
Yeah, all that. And Lord knows what else.
So we're on to our last two topics of the night.
Yes, sir.
And that is the Unhoused Neighbor News and the Unhoused Neighbor Sweeps.
Yeah, all right.
So, hold on. So the sweeps continue.
Mm-hmm.
There's been over 100 sweeps this year alone.
120. Or 115.
115 to date. That is more than double the amount of sweeps that were in 2020 during the height of the COVID epidemic or pandemic. And Mayor Michael Hancock, or as we call him, Michael Hancoon, continues to usher out these sweeps. They've been ruled unconstitutional, but yet the city continues to usher them out week after week. There's upwards of 2 to 3 sweeps a week that we know of, if possibly even more. It's just not being documented or not being notified of it.
Right.
You sweep trash, you don't sweep people. And
now I got a question, and you're right about that, Brother Jay. What are the courts saying about this? These homeless sweeps in Denver, in the city and county of Denver.
The most recent case, which was in 2019, they ruled it unconstitutional. And then last year, they placed an injunction on the sweeps, which was supposed to end the sweeps, but yet the city defied the court order and continued to do the sweeps.
Wow.
They call them cleanups. They call them public health,
Okay.
but they're really
Okay. So they casually are defining the courts.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, look at here, man. I'm going to have to shut it down on my end because my phone is about to power out.
No.
But
Okay.
but definitely everybody check us out on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on Sunday, December the 7th, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. in the Eastern Time. And the subject matter that we're going to be dealing with is going to be dealing with the family unit within the Black community. Also, to check with us on Tuesday, 2 days later, December the 9th at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Mountain, and 8 p.m. Central. And that there is where we're going to be doing a follow-up show that we have in pre-production now, dealing with our missing children.
Yeah.
Revisited and missing Black women as well too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Well,
without a doubt.
have a good night, Shabaka.
Thank you, Shabaka.
Okay,
Coming on.
okay. Hey, thank you for having me. Okay, see y'all tomorrow night. Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Peace.
Okay, babe.
Are you done with the?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, family. Loads has happened. All right. So I'm out there. I'm out there. Got my glasses so I can read. Yeah, the sweeps continue. Uh, last week when I did the RVA or the Revolutionary Agenda, I was quite upset because there's supposed to be two major sweeps with over 100 people getting swept. And these are like high areas. These two particular areas are highly um used areas by the Unhoused, and this is a lot to do with the police and the encampment enforcement team, pushing them to certain levels. And so this past week, I saw a major sweep over there by, if you're familiar with Denver, Coors,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of tents, a lot of police presence, usually the same police presence that was there, and yeah, the police wouldn't even let the service providers through at this particular sweep. They wouldn't let any of the volunteer helpers that came to help the unhoused move. They bring trucks and whatnot to like trucks, dollies, things like that the unhoused need to actually move their things. They would not let the police would not let them in. Um, they were actually threatening certain doctor I would say certain service providers and certain individuals that are there to document these travesties. They wouldn't let them through, and they kind of were yelling at them and threatening jail. That's crazy. I filmed it. It's somewhere on the Frontline Black News. Um, a lot had happened that day. Also, there there's little sweeps and things like that happened that were kind of impactful, but they're not really offering them anything. They're not offering the people anything. They're just directing them out of the spots they want to clean, and that this real demanding. There was a flyer that went up that said anybody caught coming into, or if they caught them coming into certain parts of the triangle, or certain parts that were usually populated by homeless people, um, they're going to threat, it's tickets in jail, pretty much. And that's what upset me. And I had a whole show about it, and try to reach out to certain individuals after the fact, and it was unsuccessful. So hopefully this week I'll probably reach them, and perhaps it'll be successful. And we could actually do something for this. you know, it's difficult when you want to do something for the people, and the actual people can't help you or don't want to, or whatever the problems are. It doesn't really affect me. I'm still wanting to proceed with my thoughts of how we can assist the people. You know, um, there was also, we do city council on Mondays, and I'm gonna shine a little light on a situation. We city council on Mondays, and I brought, last Monday, because due to talking to another friend of ours, perhaps we should try, to have some of our unhoused neighbors and people to speak at city council, since it's so difficult to get there. I'm out in the street all the time. I'm out there. So I asked one of my family members to go ahead and use my 3 minutes to speak on it, and at city council on Monday, and later in the week, like right at the same day of this big major sweep, um, my family was wrongfully detained, as they're wrongfully detained, arrested with 5 officers, um, and took to jail for like over 12 hours on the premise of, somebody, a gentrified area person had, allegedly called the police, inciting that there was some public drinking on the street. And contrary to popular belief, my family wasn't drinking anything. He was just out there doing this thing in the encampments. And when they came to get him, they he said he noticed that there was two white gentlemen out there drinking beers right in the open in front of the police, and they didn't go to jail. But he went for like 12 hours with a charge of um, controlled substance. He also said he didn't have a controlled substance. He didn't have anything on him, and that just seems really suspect to me. And they let him out. They let him out.
The
You know,
next day.
they let him out at like midnight, and he was quite shook up. But his wife, my cousin, was really upset, really, really upset. And she called and she reached out, and that was like really terrible because, you know, if getting the unhoused housed such an issue, what I mean? They ask for housing, they ask for help, they should be arrested,
Right.
especially when the city and them are not really attempting to help them. They're just saying they are. And that is terrible. That right there was really bothersome to I and Che.
Yes.
The other thing I want to talk about real quick, well, there's another sweep, a major sweep, at, well, they call Arkins. We would say by the river, or by the bridge, and it's a major sweep. It's like the one that you witnessed that one time, where they brought over 300 people at the Arkins thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're sweeping Arkins again, and I'll be there to film that. I have a lot of reasons to go there to do that, but also, I just want to see what's going on, because they keep moving them around and threatening to put them somewhere, put them in jail. Although they're not making these SOS camps easy to get into. You need a referral. You need to know somebody to get up in there. Nobody can get up in there. I can't get up in there. My brother couldn't get up in there. My mama couldn't get up in there. Brother got a job. He couldn't get up in there. So it's quite difficult. Even though they're putting one in, they got one now in the east side. It's still difficult to get in.
Still
Difficult to get in, and I like, the wordplay they use, and they're so trying to help, and they're so trying to get the unhoused housed, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't really look like it. It looks like more harassment. Like I'm out there, so I'm out there with them sometimes, and I see how it really is. I see how it really is, not how city council and the mayor and everybody is actually saying, but from the perspective of unhoused looking at it. And it looks like a lot of harassment and a lot of unnecessary jailing. The other thing I want to talk about is two things real quick. And it concerns the unhoused. Here in the city of Denver, we have a Union Station. Union Station is like bus depot, train depot, right in the middle of the city. You can take the light rail and the Amtrak. Is that what it's called? The Amtrak?
Yeah.
Light rail, Amtrak, and buses. It's like a big depot. And a few years back, they had what you call a renovation. Added some stores in it, made it more gentrified to add to the city. And tourists, when tourists come, they like to see Union Station. Although Union Station also, like downtown, has been like a little hub for unhoused neighbors. Um, Now, apparently, I'm just gonna read it to you because I get it right. Union Station apparently has said that the work conditions of the Denver train and bus depot have gotten worse and allegedly is unsafe for staff and passengers. Um, this comes from the Union Local 1001, has referred to it as a lawless hellhole. The Union Station claims that the RTD employees are at high risk of assault when passing through Union Station. They also claim that staff face health risks and health risks. Um, they also said that there's loiterers and within the doors of the Denver Union Station, smoking in the restroom and sleeping in the aisles. Right. Apparently, the bus drivers are also seeing people smoke meth and use heroin on the bus. Right. Apparently, the vice president of the Union Station, amongst other big heads, right, went and did a walkthrough without anybody really paying attention to them, and they reported what they saw. TSA and the guardian angels decided to go ahead and patrol Union Station, to keep it safe. Keep it safe, right? That was kind of funny. Um, for the tourists, and there's also their claim is to the guardian angels claim is that keeping it safe for the tourists and the unhoused, trying to help the unhoused, but also being the eyes and ears of the police. You know what I mean? So they're just there for the police. Um, Mayor Hancock vowed to, fix this situation. And him and Chief Payson have added more police to Union Station. If there's so much of a police crisis, they don't have so many police, apparently. They have enough to put on Union Station. What else? There was also a thing. And over 2,000 employees are finally expressing frustration and outrage with this scenario, stating that the security is extremely overwhelmed with people, and that most. Oh, also one more thing: the feds are also patrolling Union Station, arresting alleged drug dealers and people who want to fight. Anybody who has mental illness and unhoused. So pretty much everybody. Um, what I find curious about this situation. What do you guys say first? Because the year you guys say is gonna be like the opposite of what I gotta say. What do you guys say about that scenario? Because it's basically they want their Union Station back. They want their Union Station back.
All I
Allegedly.
can say is I can attest to the smoking going on in the bathrooms. at Union Station, the panhandling, all the above. I mean, it's a central location. So all the unhoused gather there um, for whatever reasons, to charge their phones, to get some rest, get some sleep. You can't lay down, sit down, and cover yourself from the elements here in the city and county of Denver. So you have to try to find shelter any and everywhere. And a lot of times that ends up being the bus depot or something similar, such as Union Station.
Mm. Yeah. Here's my thoughts. Union Station is highly secured with security guards, police consistently. Now, whether they don't do their job, and I can state for a fact, they are not very helpful in Union Station when looking for something and you go to the security desk. They're just lazy. They just don't want to do shit. However, at any given time, there's police sitting in the bathroom with them. I've seen that many times. Um, they moved all the unhoused neighbors from the. They moved all the unhoused. They were congregating on the 16th Street Mall, right? And they had nowhere to go. It's cold. That's the only place you can go. They have like a 2 hour sitting in the train station period where you can charge your phone or sit there and pretend to wait for a bus and get warm. I can't attest. I can't say anything about anybody else doing anything else. I can say though that the police are everywhere over there. Everywhere over there. There's been times where I've been like, I have video where I'm over there patrolling. I'm trying to get home or something. I'm crazy, right? Like I'm trying to get home real late, and I had to go through Union Station, and I'm just cruising across the street, and police roll up on me. I think they're rolling up on me, but they're actually there, just standing around. They stand around outside the doors. So, to see that all this is happening and these people are finally upset, right, is like crazy to me because they're there all day, every day. The police are everywhere over there. I just went through there when I went through this big sweep on at Coors Field. I was just through there. The police are everywhere. I saw countless numbers of police. And this is before these articles I went through. Security, there's security on the trains. Definitely security on the trains. They'd love to catch you with no bus pass and shit. You know what I mean? There's security all through the platforms for the light rail. There's security all through the building. They're just mobbing around, ignoring all this stuff. So when you want your little area to be, right, should have took care of that a long time ago. They're saying that they fear that the staff could be assaulted. It's been going on for a while, a long while, long. We're talking about at least a couple years, and finally they got something to say. Finally, somebody had something to say. It started off like last winter or something, last summer, whenever the tourists started coming in. Like usual, we're a tourism state. You know what I mean? They come in, they come for the Major League Baseball, they come for hockey, they come for football. So basketball, major things here. So yeah, this has been going on. With they move them out of Five Points, they move them out of Curtis Park, they move them out of downtown. There's nowhere to be. There's because of the camping ban. It's cold. Majority of people are either probably using drugs or some shit. It's cold outside. That's one. They kicked them out after like an hour and a half, 2 hours, allegedly. Them they're not really trying to enforce no power because like one day I went in there and I was asking for something simple like a plug. It's like plug in the power chair, right? They didn't want to help me. I had to make a big old scene for them to help me. And it wasn't the security that helped me. It was a train helper, like a person in uniform dedicated to help people on and off the train if they needed help. Kind of like a security for that section. Union Station got a lot of different types of security going on in that station. A lot of people wearing different uniforms. Not to mention, they were so fucking concerned. Maybe they would keep the Union Station clean.
Right.
Union Station is constantly, anytime we go there, it doesn't matter what time it is, dirty. All the time. I would be more worried about my health than I would be worried about anything else. Because it is filthy in there. But they don't clean in there. In fact, they just chill outside. Because those bathrooms are like, there's the women's bathroom got like 7 stalls in it. You hear it? And they're just in there because it's warm and you can plug in your phone. And there's nobody to come in there because they don't, for some reason, people are scared of homeless people. You notice that? Security is like scared of homeless people. Scared to say, hey, you can't be here, or please don't do that here. Take that outside somewhere, like down the block. You know what I mean? Something like that. If anything, the security that they hired has been pretty fucking scary for the last 3 years. They don't want to do nothing. They don't want to enact anything. So can't really blame the unhoused neighbors for being there and going through whatever conditions they have to go through. Apparently, the feds are looking at them because they're unhoused, mentally ill, and there's drug dealers. That's what they're looking for. Well, shit, that could be anybody and everybody at this day and age. Anybody and everybody. I mean, if they just picked up my family for a controlled substance, he didn't even have anything on him. And originally, the charge was he was drinking in public, and he wasn't even drinking. So anything is possible in this place. That's pretty much like I said. There's a big sweep. I'm gonna go film it. I'm looking for something and somebody, so I'm gonna be checking that out. I don't like how they all of a sudden are stepping it in. They want their Union Station back so that they can bring in more tourism, to the city, and who don't. It's a train station. There's an actual train there. You know. The other thing I want to talk about real quick is Dwayne Rogers being fired for non-vaccination. That's the real reason. They're not saying it though. Non-vaccination and not rendering aid. Right, a black deputy for not rendering aid to let me say his name. LaJonte Jones, 18. Kid she was laying on his stomach, got shot. He was asking for he went out, stopped the police, was asking for help. This detective was asking him where he lived. The way they wrote it, he was peppering the kid with all sorts of unnecessary questions, and the kid died right there. He didn't tie his leg off with a tourniquet. His thing was in 2020, during the pandemic, he didn't have gloves and he wasn't properly equipped. And he didn't want to hurt the individual anymore. So while he was calling for the ambulance, the kid died. But he got fired this last week. So for non-vaccination. When Mr. Jones died is in 2020. We're at the end of 2021, family. So it's about the vax. And that he was in a lawsuit with 7 other individuals suing DPD for the vaccination mandates. He didn't want to take the vaccination. A brother, regardless if he's a deputy or not, police officer or not, I personally think it's the same one. I always call him Milk Dud. But regardless of all that, he got vaxxed. He didn't get vaxxed. They fired him. When the young man died, it was in 2020. And he still maintained his job after that. You know what I mean? We're in 2021, the end of 2021. Suspect? Not really. It's about the vaccination. And they keep writing all over the articles, anti-vax. So you know that's really what it is. Really the agenda. So, thank you for watching the Frontline Black News. We're going to go ahead and end this out because it's late. And join us tomorrow for Chewbacca's Black Experience Enhanced Special Edition on Blog Talk. The Revolutionary Agenda on Thursday, or whenever I decide to show it, because I got lots of stuff to talk about. Whenever I decide to do it, please, check it out, share it at least. You don't gotta like it, but share it. Thank you for watching Frontline Black News. This is a great episode. We enjoyed doing it. Peace and Black empowerment. That's all I gotta say. Oh, one other last thing. Please take care of your families and keep eyes on them who are coming up missing. You know what I mean? So just look out for them.
Yeah, so thank y'all for tuning in to episode 39 of the Frontline Black News. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode 40. In the meantime, you can check out Chewbacca's Black Experience Enhanced tomorrow at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. The call-in number is 516-418-5996. Press 1 to be added to the queue. And we will be talking about the Black family units. And also, there'll be another show on Tuesday, Our Missing Children. So make sure you call in with your comments, questions, and concerns on both of those days. And check out the Revolutionary Agenda whenever Lady Che decides to drop an episode. And thank you to all our viewers. Peace, love, light, and Black empowerment.
Thank you.